This is a bit of a shocker, a bikecumentary without a bike or a chest-mounted action cam. And even more unusually, without a drone. Whilst working on my last film, I found a video of the last public train ride on the Castleman Corkscrew between Poole and Wimborne, way back in 1977, uploaded by a YouTuber named Ian. He's given me permission to use the film. This film is inspired by Ian's film. It's a look back at the last journey and all the changes the town has seen since the film was made. Nothing much has changed between Bournemouth and Branksome since 1977. Here we are approaching the twin viaducts over Bourne Valley. But have you ever wondered why there are two viaducts? When the railways were being constructed in the mid-1800s, Christchurch and Poole were established towns, and Bournemouth was a small settlement. The line from the west terminated at what was known as Bournemouth West, and a half-hearted branch line was built from Christchurch to Bournemouth East. The station was on the other side of Holdenhurst Road to where it is now. In the 1800s, the two lines were linked, and Bournemouth Station was relocated to its current location. Two viaducts were built, one to run between Bournemouth and Poole, and the other to link Bournemouth West to Bournemouth Central. Bournemouth West was located on Queen's Road. The station closed in 1965 and was demolished shortly afterwards. There was no further use for the second viaduct. The sidings now form part of the Bournemouth train care depot. The viaducts were targeted in World War II as the line served Holton Heath munitions factory. Poole's worst air raid was in 1941 when the viaducts were targeted. They missed but hit Bourne Valley Gasworks canteen at lunchtime, killing 33. Here we are approaching Parkston Station. The bridge carries Station Road and the ornamental pillars are still there today. This view simply never changes. This is one of the two images from Ian's film that most surprised me. Leaving Poole Station and looking backwards, Towngate Bridge is a familiar sight on the left, but on the right we see houses. This picture clearly shows Brighton Cottages, and this is the same view today. Looking at an older map, this is a location of Brighton Cottages, slap bang in the middle of the dual carriageway near Astor Harbour entrance. This is how they looked in 1988, backing right onto Holes Bay. Note the Fort Capri Mark II and the Cortina estate. The land that would become the road started to be reclaimed in the early 1980s, and work began on the road in 1985. However, there was a slight problem. The residents of Brighton Cottages didn't want to sell, so the dual carriageway turned into a single lane approaching the town. This caused a bottleneck, and rather than getting stuck there, drivers would use Wimborne Road as a rat run to get to Poole. Eventually they were compulsory purchased and demolished in 1991, and the road was then completed. Leaving Poole Station we get a glimpse of Sturt. This is the view today of the road known as the Esplanade. Prior to the road construction it was waterfront prime real estate. The residents tried really hard to retain a lagoon, but nope, it had to be filled in. I love this sign pointing out that it's part of the harbour. Clearly fly tipping is nothing new. All of the area left of the road was part of the harbour. This shows how much land has been reclaimed in recent years. All of Asda's car park, all of the land where the Holes Bay Road is, and a great deal of new land between the road and the old high water mark. The stadium and Poole High are on the right, and the footbridge still exists. Not sure about the whistle instruction though. This is the view from Sturt Road Bridge today. Holes Bay Curve heading west is the current main line, and the link from Poole to Broadstone branches right. The other image that really surprised me is this one, just after the bridge. Today you can only see factories from this point. So where did all that wet stuff come from? This picture is from 1983 and shows a partial reclamation of the land and the route the line took towards Broadstone. The line's route was through these factories, across Willis Way and right through B&Q's Garden Centre to the Upton Road Bridge. The high water line as shown in Ian's film remained the same until the mid-1980s. Once the reclamation started we lost a considerable amount of wetlands, but gained a Mercedes garage, a Travelodge, Wessex Gate retail park and a McDonald's drive-through. Okay, so we've reached B&Q's car park, so it's worth having a look at Fleetsbridge and Creekmoor. Nowadays, Fleetsbridge is a major junction, major enough for Tesco to plant a store there, but in the past it was Fleet's Corner, a simple T-junction on the Poole to Wimborne road that led to Upton. This map from 1960 shows the road layout. Dorset Way was years in the future, and the harbour was tidal under the railway line and right up to Wimborne Road. This came home to roost in May 2021 when we had really heavy rains. Because the roundabout is very near the average high water mark of the harbour, it has to be pumped 24/7. Give it more water or a breakdown and you got a problem. Moving slightly westwards towards Creekmoor, this is the bridge that used to be on Upton Road. The harbour was, and still is, tidal to this point. Not so long ago, at Creekmoor, there was a house and mill. The mill was powered by streams leading into the harbour at Creekmoor. The house was the headquarters for the local Home Guard in World War II and was demolished in 1971. Some of the estate names remember the past. Millfield was oddly enough exactly where the mill used to be, and Millstream Close, I'm guessing, has a high water table. We lost a lot of mud, but gained B&Q, Wren Kitchens, plus a little the Audi. On the plus side, I love the harbourside cycle path. Leaving Fleetsbridge, we followed Broadstone Way. This road was built on the route of the railway line and was part of the Holes Bay scheme. Just under a mile from Fleetsbridge, we come to what used to be Creekmoor Halt. It was originally built to serve the nearby brickworks and tile factory. In later years, a munitions factory was built where Plessey Siemens was in Soapers Lane. Both had private sidings to transport raw materials and finished products from their factories. There's no sign it ever existed today. Plessey and Poole had a big impact on the world. The barcode was invented there in 1971, Ernie was built there, and Tim Berners-Lee worked there for a while after leaving uni. After the York Road junction, we continue up Broadstone Way on the old line towards Broadstone. This one remaining bridge carrying the Castleman Trail is the only sign that a railway was ever here. Today, where there's a roundabout, there used to be a bridge over the lines carrying Blandford Road. There are two arches under the road bridge. The right arch is for the Poole to Broadstone line, and the left one was the Castleman Corkscrew. That closed after Beeching's cuts in the 60s. It used to be the main line between Southampton and Dorchester for many years until 1885, when the line we have been following was completed and Castleman became a branch line. Broadstone Station closed to passenger traffic in 1964, thank you Dr Beeching, but the line itself stayed open until 1977 to service the fuel dump at West Moors. The line from Broadstone to the Willett Arms is now the Castleman Trailway and one of my favourite cycle paths. Broadstone Golf Course is on one side of you and Delft Woods on the other. I have done a bit of research into post-Beeching closures and get the feeling that the ripping up of the infrastructure was done with a certain amount of spite. Lines were ripped up very soon after closure, bridges were blown up for no good reason, and rubble was dumped in places in such quantities it wouldn't be easy to reopen. Continuing on, the line skirts past farmland on one side and Merley on the other. It goes under a bridge and past the Willett Arms to Oakley Crossing. The trailway ends at the Willett Arms, but the route of the line went over Stour Meadows and into Wimborne. This is a viaduct over Stour Meadows approaching Wimborne. Wimborne station was closed to passenger trains in 1964. Although freight trains still ran until this final journey in 1977, once passenger trains stopped running, the station buildings fell into disrepair. Okay, so we're approaching the site of Wimborne Market now, but in the past it was Wimborne Station. On this final journey, the train backs out of Wimborne and heads towards Bournemouth. Just after the bridge over the Stour there is a short section of embankment. This leads to Lady Wimborne's Bridge. It was one of the entrances to her estate, which is now Camford School, and the bridge is a Grade 2 listed building. That's where the river is, and this is the railway line. Continue on towards Poole. There's only a short bit of the old track, but where it ends is Lady Wimborne's Bridge. It doesn't look much from up here, but we'll be back later to take a better look. Back through Oakley Crossing and through the bridge under Gravel Hill, sometimes known as Delve Tunnel. The trail is well maintained and I cycle it often. I love old lines because they're flat-ish. And I'm over 60. I don't really do hills. It's dark. Ian's film ends at Broadstone, so now's a good time to add some memories of the station. So it's back up the line to have a better look at Lady Wimborne's Bridge. I've gone into the history of this bridge, the Castleman Corkscrew, Lady Wimborne's estate and the old line from Wimborne to Stern Newton. These films are all on this channel, so please check them out for more information.